What's up, everybody? Welcome to Spoiler Alert 180. This is my first video on here. Just kind of a brief introduction and just kind of a quick snapshot of what I'm going to post on here and what Spoiler Alert 180 is all about. So just a little background on why the Spoiler Alert deal. So this happened probably about 2009, 10, 11, somewhere in there. My brother was qualified for the National Finals Rodeo going on in Las Vegas, and one of the channels was carrying it on TV live, but it would always get interrupted because there was a basketball game that went into overtime or something going on. And so people thought I had inside knowledge of what was going on a half hour before the TV show, the rodeo, would start. And so I started putting spoiler alerts on Facebook. I say spoiler alert, and that gives some random fact. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't talk to my brother or my parents while they were back there. But so it kind of evolved to that, just spoiler alert. And it's just kind of random facts. Nothing is really not important. But the 180, so how the 180 came about is 2 years ago on September 21st of 2020, I had gastric sleeve surgery, weight loss surgery. And it has flipped my life around 180 degrees. And I got back to living life again instead of being a spectator on the sidelines. And it's been this amazing journey that I've been on. Disclaimer, the surgery is not a magic bullet. It's not a magic wand. It's not some miraculous deal that it's the only reason I lost 200 pounds. But it is a very, very instrumental tool in how I got here. I started out at 396 pounds. Let's just round up to 400. Let's say I was a biscuit away from 400 pounds in November of 19 when I went in for an annual physical. And I've always been a big person, been heavy, but it was bad to the point, like I said, I was knocking on 400 pounds door, and my blood pressure medication had to be upped. And it was, my general practitioner said, "Hey, you're a big guy. We know that you're athletic, you're flexible, but all we're doing is seeing a ship on the ocean with a lot of holes in it. And all we're doing is patching it." And he'd been telling me for quite a few years to have weight loss surgery. And in about 2012. I was 2 weeks away from actually going in for the gastric bypass surgery, the more invasive surgery, and I just wasn't mentally ready, and so I backed out and didn't do it. Fast forward to 2019, leave that physical. I'm weighing 400 pounds. Knees hurt, ankles hurt. I could just feel it every time I had a chest pain, be it a pulled muscle, be it heartburn or whatever. The worst starts coming into your mind. And now I've got two daughters. They're 25 and 15 now, but at the time, 3 years ago, you're looking at 12 and 22. And I started wondering, am I going to walk them down the aisle? Am I going to be able to walk them down the aisle? Am I going to see my grandkids? What kind of life am I going to have? What kind of future with my wife, who I love with all my heart, am I going to have? Am I going to see the other side of 60? This is at 45, 43, 40, or 44, 45 years old. The next 15 years, what is my life going to be like? And so the stress of that, on top of being morbidly obese, was putting a toll on me. And so we left that doctor's appointment, my physical, and we're driving home. My wife goes, you're being awful quiet. And I said, it's time we do something. Now, to backtrack a little bit, a good buddy of mine, that July of 19 had the gastric sleeve surgery and had great success with it. And he and I had been talking about it, and I had thought about it, but I still hadn't wrapped my head around it. But at that point, driving home on that day in November of 2019, I knew it was something I had to look into and move forward. So fast forward, I go through all the steps. It was the same doctor, same group that I had been part of years before when I was going to have the gastric bypass surgery. But I had to go through the seminar. I had to meet with the doctor, and I went to the seminar deal that they had. It was November was my physical. December was the first seminar deal I could go to. I did that in the middle of December. I couldn't get in to see the surgeon until February. That's how far out he was booked. So my first appointment with the surgeon, he remembers me. We sit and talk, and he asked, what's different this time? I said, mentally, I'm ready now. I understand this is something I need to do. He agreed. But he also agreed, in the 8 years since I'd been in there, the gastric sleeve surgery had come so far, and for my age, that would be the better fit. Real quick, the gastric sleeve surgery, they go in and they remove 2/3 of your stomach and create a sleeve, a long pouch, or a long sleeve with your stomach, and they remove 2/3 of it. The gastric bypass, the more invasive of the two, is they detach your stomach right below your esophagus, create a little pouch 2/3 of the way down your small intestine, and so you just have this little pouch, and then you only have 1/3 of your small intestine that absorbs the food. With the gastric sleeve surgery like I had, and this is just layman's terms, very quick, but not scientific at all, they remove 2/3 of your stomach, so your capacity to eat is cut down, but you still get the full digestive tract. So I went with the gastric sleeve surgery. That was February. And then we all know what happens in March of 2020. So part of my program, for 6 months, I had to go have blood work every month. I had to lose 15 pounds in 2 months for my doctor. I had to meet with a nutritionist once a month. I had to meet with a psychologist a couple of times. Had to have my stomach scoped. I had to have an EKG. There's all these steps that my surgery team put in place, which I'm glad for. It was a very good foundation and building block for it. So I do all that. But like we say, March 2020 hits, COVID shuts everything down. Now I'm doing everything remotely. Can't meet with my nutritionist. It's on Zoom. I can meet with the surgeon. I started letting me come in, but now all elective surgeries are postponed. So we don't know when this is going to happen. But I progress. 6 months hits. I don't hear anything. Well, then Labor Day of 2020. Actually, the week before that, the last week in August, I get a call from the physician's assistant, says you are approved for the surgery and we can move forward with it. You've got 90 days to book this appointment. Then we got to resubmit it through the insurance, all that stuff. I said, when's your next appointment? She goes, 3 weeks. I said, book me. She goes, you don't want to talk to me? I said, nope, I'm ready, book it. And so we book it. She goes, okay, here's this week. We call this the food funeral. Eat whatever you want for this week, but starting 2 weeks before your surgery, you've got to go on a strict bariatric shake diet. And what this does is help shrink your stomach, it helps shrink your liver, especially on guys. I guess your liver, is usually large. They want it shrunk, so it's easier to work in there. And so I started my bariatric shake on Labor Day of 2020. Now let me tell you, I thought it'd be a piece of cake because I could drink 3 of these shakes a day and have all the sugar-free popsicles and sugar-free Jello I wanted. By day 3, I was ready to tap out. I'm just gonna die fat and happy. Nope. My wife, Charlotte Branquino, my rock. She got me through this. She goes, no, we're doing this. You can get through this. You can do this. She got me through those 2 weeks because I gotta tell you, by the end of 2 weeks with no food and all you're having is these 3 protein shakes a day, and I don't think I'll ever eat sugar-free Jello or popsicles again because I thought this will help me. No. I even went so far as to get a shake that was chicken soup flavored, and that was bad. But we get through the 2 weeks, and mind you, this is in the heart of COVID. And so that morning, Monday morning, at 4:45, she drops me off in Santa Barbara at Samsung. Or at Cottage Hospital, because we're having my surgery. She can't go in. All she can do is pull a roundabout, gives me a kiss, and says, I'll see you when I pick you up tomorrow, or whenever you call me. I go in. My surgery team, they were rock stars. From Dr. Zure, the nurses, the anesthesiologists, there was anxiety because this is a major surgery. As soon as I walked in, it was just kind of like that anxiety washed away because I walked in, first and foremost, we were an hour from home. I'm not Ubering back home. My wife just left. And this was a path that I was on. And you know what? I have put all the faith in my surgery team, but I did that because of my faith in God. So go in, have the surgery. I'm up walking 15 minutes after the surgery. They get me out of post-op, get me up to my room. I walk every hour to hour and a half, and I would walk for 15 minutes. I didn't know how far it was. It was low and slow, but that got me. They had me, firing in my mind about you got to avoid blood clots, you got to get moving, you got to get up. So as soon as I could talk out of surgery, I want to walk. Like, hey, let's kind of come out of the anesthesia a little more than right out of surgery. But 15 minutes after, I was up and walking, and. But fast forward, Charlotte picks me up. Tuesday, I'm back on my couch at home Tuesday at 5:30 that evening. So I was there Monday, say 5 o'clock in the morning. I was back home 5:30 that night. And then everything just started progressing. For 2 weeks, I was on a liquid diet. That's all I could have was protein shakes and water, which I was fine with. I'm still coming out of the surgery, still feeling the effects of it. But I walked every day, every hour, every half hour. I would walk. I didn't know how far it was. I'd walk around our street. Had a neighbor come out after about 3 or 4 days and says, "Hey, I see you're moving slow. I'm not sure what's going on, but I just want you to know, just around the street's a quarter of a mile, 1 lap." So I knew that. I had a quarter mile. And I gradually added to 2 laps, then 3, then 4. And it just kind of built. That was, like I say, going to be 2 years ago on September 21st. Fast forward to today. I'm down almost 200 pounds. I would say 190 pounds. I weigh in right at 205. I weigh between 200 and 210 is my range where I've been for about a year now. I got down to 185 when I got COVID last December. That was a little thin, a little frail, a little weak. I stayed between 200 and 210. I try to work out, go get cardio in. I try 7 days a week. And it's not always jogging. I rotate between jogging one day, then walking the next. And it's between 4 and 5 miles. And somebody goes, "You're punishing yourself." No, it's not punishing. I flip my mindset. And that's what this whole thing is about. The surgery has helped me achieve these goals, but it's also helped me retrain my mind. I get to do this. I get to go out there and work out. I get to go out there and ride horses again. I get to go out there and spend time with my family again. And the surgery is what helped me get there. It's not the only thing, but it is the main underlying reason why I've got this far in 2 years. So just like I say, it's supposed to be quick. I'm pushing 12 minutes. I'm going to come on here once a week minimum, but I want to put more videos on. I want to share my story, share my journey, share the highs, but I want to share the lows because I still have them. I have great days, I have great weeks, but I have bad days too. And not only highs and lows, but you know what? After 2 years out, I'm very fortunate. My diet is I can eat anything. Now it's still in moderation. I still have restriction from the surgery, which I hope I always have. But there's days that, man, I'm not gonna lie, I go off script. And the reason I know that is because I log all the fluid I take in, water, Gatorade, Propel. I log all the calories, everything I eat, I log it. I've got an app and I log every day. So I know when I try to stay between 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. Sometimes a tick over, I'm not worried about, but I mean, there's days I've checked it, wow, 3,400. Wow, and to me, that scares me and it brings me back to center. But I don't sugarcoat it for myself, and I'll keep you guys in the loop too. So, like I say, I want to share this experience with you. I want to share about the surgery, about my support system. It's not just Tony Branquinho, it's Team Tony and my wife, my daughters, my parents, my friends. I've had a great support system. But if we're going to give out an MVP for Team Tony and this weight loss journey I'm on, this 180 that I've done in my life, it goes to Charlotte, my wife. She is the MVP. She's got me here. She is the rock. She's my sounding board. She's kind and caring when she knows I need it, but she's also slaps me upside the head, says, "Hey, snap out of it," when I'm being dumb and just not focusing on the right thing. So hope you enjoy this. Hope you follow along. I've got a TikTok up, spoiler alert 180, Instagram, spoiler alert 180. I'll be doing Facebook Lives, but I want to get this out here on this YouTube channel and build some traction. And I want to share my story. And if I can help somebody else change your life for the better, and it doesn't have to be weight loss. It could be education. It could be work. It could be anything. Man, I hope my story helps inspire and we get it out there. So if you like the content, subscribe. And let me know and tell me what you want to hear about, and I'll tell you my story and get it out there. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great afternoon.